We're back. This is January 28th, and yeah, still on the birthday countdown. I don't have long. It is next Monday, I think. Yeah, next Monday on the 5th, and I'm kind of excited. Hey, Tara, we're kind of matching. I really love my Tara screen. I've had her since 2018, 2019, something like that. And yeah, this is the same screen. I have been using it since then. And yeah, I really like Tara. We're matching today. Yeah, I love this screen. I fell in love with this screen and I just had to have it. That was one of the gifts that I gave myself coming out of a life of abuse because it just looks so peaceful. So I had to get it. And it lights up the little things right there. There's a light in the back of it, and I can turn that on and they light up. I just need to get some new batteries, and well, I have the batteries. I just never think to put them in until after I've started the video. But today I want to talk about challenges and how to deal with challenges, and not just after coming out of a life of abuse, but just period. Just, just in life in general. So let's get started. Now, one of the first things I say to do is not see it as a negative. A lot of people, when we are in conversation, put challenges or obstacles or negative things that happen in your life. You always want to put a blame somewhere else. And I choose not to do that because that doesn't work for me. I remember growing up in church how the mindset was the devil is always busy. The devil is always doing this. Now, in my head, the way I analyze, the way I process things, I choose not to give anybody else or anything else credit for what's happening in my life because I don't see it that way. Not when it comes with something that is viewed as a negative. I don't view it as a negative when things happen in my life like that. I look at them as a lesson to learn or it's exam time. And this is what I liken it to. You know how when you're in school and you always having to take these exams to get to the next level? That's how I look at things that happen in my life. I look at them to where, hey, it's exam time. It's time for me to deal with this so I can get to the next level because I can't get to the next level if I do not pass this. Because what's going to happen is it's going to cycle back around at some point in my life and I'm going to have to deal with it again. Well, if I don't want to deal with that again, I need to do what I need to do. So I put the onus on me and I do everything within myself to take care of those things. I do not see them as a negative. I see it as my mindset being audited. And what have I learned from the last time that this particular thing entered my life, whether directly to me or indirectly? So, say for instance, something happened to someone you love, and it was something that has happened to you before. That thing has come back around again, whether it was for you directly or indirectly. What are you going to do? How are you going to support this person as they come out of it, if they allow you to? So that's what I like to do. Another thing is having to it's a reason to grow. I love I'm always looking for a way to grow, but sometimes you have these reasons to grow. And when these things happen to you in your life that you call negative, sometimes that is the very reason that you need to grow that particular thing in your life because you never know why that thing happened in your life. It could be something karmic, it could be something from sometime past in your life. It could also be something that's generational that you need to break, and only you can break it. Now, yes, there are some things that other people in your life and in your family can break. But sometimes things happen to you and happen to only you because you were the one assigned to break it. So that's how I choose to look at it. Now, I love processing things when they come in my life. I have this way of, and it's because of the way that I was trained to think. I have four uncles, my mom's brothers, and three of them in the military. Three of them were military, one was in the ministry. But they all seem to have this way of processing. We need to look at what occurred before that event that you call negative, or that you call somebody threw at you, or that you call somebody's doing a psychic attack on you, or the devil is doing something to you. We need to think about some things that have occurred in our lives before that happened. Then we also need to look at what's happening like right now while those things are happening. And then we need to think about what we want our life to look like after this is over. That's important to me. That's what I tend to focus on. How, when this is over, how do I want, how can, what are the lessons here? How am I growing here? Is there something that I need to shed off, break off of me so I can get somewhere else? Or what is it that I need to do? Because a lot of times we always want to put it somewhere else instead of looking at what it is that we need to do. Now, one of the things I love, perfect example, I have a perfect example. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my perfect example. This is 4.5 years, no, nearly 4.5 years. I know it's been 4 years. October, it became 4 years. I don't think we're at the halfway mark yet, not until about April. But anyway, it took me 4 years to grow my hair with these locks. And I did not go anywhere to have them done. These are naturally done. They work themselves. All I did was I decided one day, hey, I wanted locks, but I don't want anybody on my head. So what I did was I washed my hair very, very good, really good, picked it out in the fro, and just left it alone. And that's pretty much all I've done for the last 4 years. I don't pick it out anymore, obviously, because I wouldn't have these. But what I do is I wash it, keep it clean every so often, and it just locks itself. That's all it does. It just locks itself. And what I love is the process that it goes through. A lot of people have told me, I don't think I can do it the way you're doing it. I have to have some, it's got to be neat. Well, to me, this is neat. I feel like anything that can do the same thing that you pay a lot of money for to have it done, I think that is neat. It is really, really neat. Now, some areas of my head, my curl pattern is looser than the others. And so this right here, this right here is just starting to lock. So that is the last piece that is locking, is right there in the front. Now, the reason why I chose to use my hair as an example is because there's a whole process that comes with this. And what happens is a lot of times when things happen that we call negative, we don't see them as a lesson or anything. We feel like we need to do something to fix it. We feel the need to do something to correct it, or head it off at the past before it gets worse. Sometimes you putting your hands in it makes things worse. Me, because before I locked my hair or allowed it to lock, I was always fiddling with my hair. Now that it's locked, I don't do that as often because I will interrupt the process of it continuing, the locking process that it needs to do, if I continue doing that. So I no longer keep doing it. I'm only doing it now because I'm showing it to y'all, and I'm being a show off right now because I'm actually proud of my work. This is 4 years. This is 4 years of work. And in the back, it's starting to go down my back. In the front, it's starting to go, it's like right here. Um, but because I have different textures all over my head, so it grows accordingly. And I love it. I love the process. A lot of people are like, oh, it's in this ugly stage. Talk about your own hair, because to me, there is no ugly stage. It's a growing stage. And that's how you have to look at the things that you seem as negative, or things that are happening that you don't want to happen in your life, or the things that you say that the devil is attacking you with, or someone is throwing at you, or doing a psychic attack on you. You have to look at it that way. It's important that you do, because it's an element of growth. When you do that, when you change your mindset about that, it helps you to grow. Another reason why I have the mindset that I do about things that are negative in my life that happen, that come for a reason, I see them as a moment of creating new processes, because sometimes you need to tweak what you've been doing. Just because you've been doing it for 10, 15 years doesn't mean it's still going to continue working. You evolve. When you evolve, your processes or the way you have been doing things need to change accordingly. And if you don't, that that tends to keep you with some of the behaviors that are now considered, what was once considered mature after you got to a new level. Now you're on this level, and these changes and these things are happening to you right now. Now when you do them to get to the next level, that next level is saying that thing, the way you've been doing it, is now immature. So it's time for you to do things a little bit different. That's just life. That's evolution, and that's what we are. We have to grow, and that's some of the things that we need to do. And it helps with peace. I love stability, and this helps with peace. I made up in my mind. I made up in my mind 2018, when I got away from my ex-husband, that anything that will take me out of the realm of peace is an automatic no. My peace is that important to me. And I feel like if it is time to learn and to grow and to move on, and I can't do things the way I've been doing it all along, because it's going to go against my peace if I don't grow with it. You have to grow with it, because if you don't, your peace will be disrupted. It will not be still. I promise you that it will not be still. Take it from me. I've learned my lesson. It will not be still. And you know how sometimes, here's another example. Another example is when people invade your space. I'm talking about peace, because this is where these things are taking you to. That's the reason why they come in, because peace is no longer there on that level. So you need to go and find some peace. And you know how sometimes people come in, they invade your space. You set an allotted time to get some work done, to work on your business. If you are an entrepreneur, you have your own business, whether it's full time, part time, it doesn't matter. But you have set aside time to do some things on your business or within your business. And there are people who want to usurp your time. They want you on the phone. They fill you up with different distractions. And you just have to find a way of setting your boundaries and enforcing them. That's another thing that comes from this. What are you not enforcing your boundaries about? What, where do you need to extend those boundaries? That's another thing. That's actually a video in itself. What are you not willing to extend your boundaries, your territory, so that your boundaries can be reinforced? That's another thing in itself. So that's, yeah, let's think about that. Selah. The reason why I think that it is so important to think about it is because we need to also think about, as we are looking for a way to make this peaceful, we need to, how do I want to put it? We need to ask ourselves, if this is going to be a part of my life right now? Will this continue to be a part of my life? Or is it just for now as a lesson? And because what happens is you learn how, if you need to balance something or if you need to harmonize with something. Here's the thing, a lot of people always talking about you need to find balance here, you need to find balance there. And a lot of times, what you need to do is you need to harmonize with it. Think about a rose. A rose is so beautiful. It is very beautiful. But when you go to touch it, there's a certain way that you need to touch it. You can't just go and just grab it because it has these things called thorns. Now, thorns hurt. They hurt. When you feel them, they hurt. When you just go and grab a rose, they hurt. Now, a lot of times when you're in the store and you purchase them, they have already, the thorns are already gone. But I remember when my grandparents grew roses, and I've never seen one without a thorn. These thorns can be a part of your life where they are with you. There's something about it that is always set there. It is set there as your barometer to help keep you in your learning mode, or in your curve of, are we going to get through this, or are we going to regress and go back to the things that we used to do and just be settled with life that way? Or are we going to continue with life and grow and learn to trust on the inside of us, and learn how to trust? God knows what God is doing to help us grow so that we can get to where we need to be. And either we are going to allow this thing um, to be with us, or we can use it as a stone to step on to grow. That's something for each person to think about, and it works differently for everybody. So I remember something that it's a memory from my grandfather, and I want to talk about it right now. My grandfather, my paternal grandfather, he had this beautiful plant. I had never seen that plant in anyone else's house but his. And he's the only person that attended to this plant like he did. And it's called the pregnant onion. Look it up. It's very delicate. It's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. Now, the nature of this plant is to continue growing up, just up, 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 up. That's all it does. It just grow up, and as it grows up, it gets thicker. Like the base of it, the stalk or the stem of it, it widens as it continues to grow up. Now you can have it sitting on a surface, say for instance a TV. What do you call it? Say an entertainment station, for the TV or whatever, and then it grows so tall that it gets to this point where, say for instance, like here. Now, what it naturally does is it detects that there is something that's going to prevent it from growing. And what it does is within 6 inches, when it detects it, what it does is it will grow out, come up, and then go over that thing and then continue to grow up. That's what it naturally does. That's us. That's what we need to do. When these things pop up into our life, that's the stance that we need to take. We need to know who we are, know how we operate. This comes by spending time with yourself. But if you do not spend time with yourself, you will not know how you operate. Other people who study you and get over on you, they will know because they studied you. And that's how they know how to tick you off. That's how they know how to manipulate you. That's how they know how to get things out of you that you weren't even trying to get to let them have. And so you need to study yourself. So once this happens, we will understand why our foundation, our base, our territory, everything that we need is getting wider and wider and stronger, because that's the way we're built anyway. We just need to pull it from the inside to get it out. So that's my take on today. Yeah, I just wanted to add my 2 cents into your life today. Have fun.